Need for Speed Most Wanted has been... It's been fun. It's been fun playing Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's... it doesn't take up a lot of your time. It doesn't, try to be... Oh, you know what? You gotta do this. It's not something like Gran Turismo or something like that where you need to go through all these events, all these license tests and all that just before you can get the super high powered cars. You don't even have to earn a single cent before you can use the best car in the game. And I think that's something good about this game, which is that, if you can find the car, you can immediately use it. You don't have to go through the slower cars, the lower end cars, go through the middle, and then high powered cars, like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Like level 1 is the I wouldn't say cheap, but the lower class cars, the slower cars, then slowly make it up to mid-range cars, and then finally you end up with the supercars. You don't have to do that in Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is something that is both good and bad to me. Good in the sense that because the whole month I didn't have time at all. I had exams, I had assignments, and things to do, and it was good because I could just pick any car that I wanted. Of course, because I wanted to complete everything, I just went alphabetical order by the manufacturer. But if you want me, you could pick any car you wanted and then just say, you know what, I want to drive a Lamborghini today, I want to drive a Porsche today, I want to drive what are cars, Mitsubishi, Nissan, and any car that you wanted. You could just immediately jump into the car, as long as you weren't being chased by cops, but you could jump into any car that you wanted right away, and you could just use it. That's the good thing. The bad thing is that maybe I missed that sort of progression. That okay, I'm going from slow cars. I'm driving around this track, and I'm getting used to it. Driving a slow car, trying to beat it. But then it's like, oh, okay, now I've unlocked a better car, and I can see the comparison. I'm going from this time, beating this time. Like, let's say a track took me 2 minutes to finish, but now, because I got a better car, it takes me 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then when I got a supercar, it's gonna take me like 1 minute and 10 seconds. There is that sense of achievement when you slowly progress one by one through tiers of cars, which, not to say that it lost in this game, but it is something that you miss. When you're so used to that progression. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna drive a slow car for now, I'm gonna beat these guys with slower cars, then I'm gonna get a faster car, then I'm gonna feel that it's faster because I'm going through the same track but faster. This, you more or less go through the same tracks. Well, I think that's a bit unfair to say that they are the same track, because how the world is presented to you is not like, oh, okay, you jump from this track to another track around the world. How the game presents the world to you is that, oh, you are in Fairhaven, which is the city that Most Wanted takes place. Then you have events scattered around the whole city, and then you just either jump to these events by using the car, going through the menu and choosing, I want to take this event now, and then you jump to it. Or if it is the first time that you are doing the event, or if you just wanted to see the scenery, take the long route, you could just set a destination and then you drive to that event, and then you start the event from there. So, talking about these events, it's... Well, the problem that I have is that there weren't many events. There is 61 unique events. I know that number off the top of my head because it's, you know, it's an achievement that, okay, you finish off, you play through all the events, you get a trophy for it. So there's only 61 events, and looking at 61 events, and they are spread along, you know, different groups. So if you were driving a slower car, let's say you chose a slower car to drive, you'll be driving a certain number of events. So like there may be 6 or 7 events set aside for the slower cars. To be fair, I think in this game they you know, grouped it into everyday cars, supercars, SUVs, and things like that. These are just examples of some of them. And grouping into these groups, you have like maybe 10 or so events that you can take using within each group, and each car within a group would have its set, you know, taking from this group of events and using them. I probably could explain that better, but what it means finally is that there is less events. Well, it's not that it's less, it's 61 events, but what it means is that you will be seeing the same events over and over again if you are in the same car group. So if I drove an everyday car and then I switched to another everyday car, I am more likely to see the same event again. So if I were to drive a supercar and then I drove another supercar, I will most likely see the same events again. So it kind of gets a bit boring. Not boring, repetitive is the right word, because you keep seeing the same events over and over again. So if you were like me, you had 4 Porsche lined up together, and if they were all fitted, grouped into supercars, you will see the same missions, same events over and over again. And you know, that's the problem with this setting, which if you had time to play this game, meaning that you had time to go through from, you know, you were powering through it, you were marathoning through the game, like, oh, I wanted to finish this game today, you'll be playing through the same events over and over again, you know, very often. But what I did was, because I had no time, well, I had little time, not to say I had no time, I had little time, so I played a car a day, or maybe 2 cars a day, and which was a good way to play the game, because you did not have to see the same events over and over again. You could just say, oh, okay, I played 2 cars today, and I may or may not see the same events, but the next day I play another group of cars, and I see, and maybe I've forgotten about the events the day before, so it's like, oh, okay. Or maybe I played 2 or 3 days later on, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, I'm not seeing the same thing over and over again, and it lessens the impact of how repetitive it is if you don't go through, you know, marathon through the game, which is what some people do, and which is why it took me a whole month to finish this game, because I knew that this was happening, and I did not want to be overwhelmed by the feeling that, oh, you know what, I'm playing the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, so that's one thing. That is the thing. So those are my 2 main thoughts about the game. This is the point where if you played games for a while, you know that these guys, Criterion Games, they did one Need for Speed game before, which is Hot Pursuit, and was in charge of the Burnout franchise. And right now, what I would like to do is to compare it with Burnout Paradise, because it's something that I played a lot of. In fact, it was the first game that I bought when I got my PS3. And because it was the first game that I bought, it was the only game that I had at the time, so I would have played the game quite a lot until I had enough money to get another game. So the memory is a bit fuzzy right now, but you know, comparing the 2 games, Burnout Paradise and Need for Speed Most Wanted, you see the parallels, you see the things that they try to do similar, which is things like security gates and billboards and things like this, and asynchronized offline play, which is basically you're challenging your friends, but you're not playing against them, but you are going against things like their time and their distance traveled and things like that, and which is fine. It's nothing great. It's not, it's not like, oh, okay, wow, but it's something that I would have to bring up, because liking Burnout Paradise a lot, I found it quite weird that the same things made me a bit annoyed in Most Wanted, which is because I think the addition of police kind of made me not want to explore a lot. Two things, I guess. The easy drive system, which is the menu on the top left, which allows you to pick things, and police, it kind of made you not want to explore the map, because if you drove too fast and you see police, you know what? The police is going to chase you. It's going to waste your time, 2-3 minutes. You're going to hide, hopefully, or if you get busted, what happens is that you'll be brought to one of the jack spots. Jack spots being places where you first found a car that you're driving currently. So let's say I had a Aston Martin, and I found this car at a certain jack spot. When I get busted by the police, I would be transported to the jack spot that I chose to use the car. It's hard to explain by words, but yeah, if I just move on, it kind of makes it risky to drive around quickly and wanting to explore, because if the cops see you, if the police see you, then they chase you, and it kind of takes the fun out of driving around, because you take a lot of time to, well, not a lot of time, but it kind of creates this like artificial event, not event, but it feels kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like trouble. It's like, I don't want to do this right now. I just want to look for these billboards, look for these security gates, but you know what, this cop is around. Okay, so there aren't that many police driving around at all times, but because you felt this way, you relied more, for me anyways, because I felt this way, I relied more on the easy drive to teleport me to the next event, rather than driving around on my own, because if I drive too fast, I will meet the police, and this is gonna be what happens, which is not fun. And I think that's the biggest change with Burnout Paradise, which is like, oh, you know what? There is no police around. I can drive as fast as I wanted, and you know what? I just had fun doing it. And maybe it was because maybe because you didn't have to drive realistic cars. Well, not really. Yeah, I think the police and the easy drive menus are the two things that really make the biggest change from Burnout Paradise, because you did not want to do a lot of things, you just wanted to skip here and there, and you just skipped. Well, is there anything else that I want to say about Most Wanted before we go? Multiplayer is fine. It's not as fun as Burnout Paradise, because again, comparison to Burnout Paradise, because the events were not as unique or fun to do, and they also came with the problem that whichever car you chose, you had to upgrade it before it was kind of fun to drive. Not to say that it wasn't fun initially, but of course it gets better with, like for example, nitrous is not something that comes with all the cars initially. You have to unlock them, and same goes in the multiplayer, that you don't have, well, I could be wrong, nitrous could be something that you unlock immediately in multiplayer, but in single player it was not something that every car came equipped with. So it wasn't that, it was kind of, it put you off, I guess, knowing that your car was not as good as it could be, and it took a long time before you could unlock anything to use in the cars. So that was kind of a downer when you go in and it's like, okay, I'm gonna use my favorite car, but because I had to unlock the car, unlock the parts, and it took so long to unlock the pro mods that it just wasn't fun anymore, I guess, because it took so long. For example, let me give you an example. I think it was aero body or something like that. It required you to, or was it the lightweight chassis? Either one. It required you to jump 10,000 kilometers, or was it 16,000 kilometers? It was something huge, just to unlock the pro mod. Of course, the idea would be that you'd be playing the multiplayer for a very long time, and I was trying to hurry up because I wanted to just get a trophy and be done with it. But it kind of felt that the design was made towards being forcing you to play. It was well, how would you say it? It's like, it's a difference between the single player and the multiplayer, where single player gave you all the tools immediately as quickly as possible, but then when you jump into multiplayer, it's like, oh no, I'm sorry, you know what, we're gonna make you stay here as long as possible. So it kind of felt a bit off, because you wanted multiplayer to be pick up and play like the single player, but it wasn't. It was more like, oh, you know what, we're gonna make you stay here for a very long time, and we're hoping that you're gonna play for a very long time, because you know what, it's the multiplayer. And it's like, man, it was like two different entities, I guess. You had a single player which was like, oh, you know what, do whatever you want as quickly as you want and then just go. Multiplayer was like, oh no, you know what, wait 2 minutes for everyone to get together, wait another 30 seconds for people to arrive, play this match for 5 minutes, you know, whether or not you win or lose, you know, you stay here for 5 minutes, move to another place, wait another 30 seconds, and it's like, it forced you to choose different cars as well. So it's like, this event you only could use SUVs, or this event you can only use everyday cars. So it restricted you a lot compared to the single player, which was like, why? You know, you had such a great thing going in single player where you could do anything you want at any time, jump around and do whatever you want. But when you went into multiplayer, it's like somebody giving you a really heavy ball and just saying, you know what, slow down a little. You know, your single player is going on too fast. Multiplayer, let's slow down. Let's enjoy the scenery a little bit. And it's like, no, you forced me to play 20-30 hours of this game. Well, not forced. Nobody forced me to. But I mean, in the single player, it felt that way. It was like, you know what, I'm gonna spend 20-30 hours playing this game, and I could do anything I wanted. But when I jump into multiplayer, something which, if it was fun, I would have stayed for longer, but because of these restrictions, it's like, no, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna, you know, spend time playing with other people who are just, you know, not doing what they're supposed to do or things like that, just to unlock a mod so that I can drive slightly faster, jump slightly higher, things like that. So yeah, multiplayer was disappointing. It wasn't like Burnout Paradise where it's like, oh, everyone come together and it's like, oh, let's just do this, let's have fun. This was like, okay, you know what, we have this set of things like that, and let's just do it together. It's like, oh, okay, fine, let's do this. You were begrudging, you were reluctant to play multiplayer, in fact, in this game, which is disappointing. Well, I guess that's about it. That's about my thoughts on Need for Speed Most Wanted. I don't think that I have anything else to say. Besides, I think it was great that the Vita version was almost 100% faithful to the consoles. Of course, it wasn't as pretty. It wasn't as the frame rate wasn't as smooth, so you felt it being a bit slow. But otherwise, I think the Vita version was quite fun because, like I said, it was pick up and play. It's like whatever I wanted to do at that time, I just loaded up the game, and just played whatever I wanted, which was great. Console, maybe I felt the PS3 console, maybe I felt it's like, okay, I wanted to have some progression in this game rather than just sitting down and doing all these kind of things. And so it's like two different mindsets, I guess, that I had playing both of them. Other than that, speed points. I think that will be the last thing that I'll talk about. Speed points, which speed points were interesting. Interesting way of keeping things locked until you needed them, but ultimately, I think didn't matter at all. For example, it was like, because I was playing on two versions, if I had it on the Android or something like that, I could have even more speed points, but I didn't want to do that. So it's like I played it on the Vita first, so I had almost unlocked everything. Okay, here's how the story was not important in this game. Basically, you needed speed points so that you could challenge people on the Most Wanted list. When I played the game, I was almost at the top already because I was playing it on two consoles. So the speed points, which was great that they accumulated, which they were combined, you know, on the PS3 and the PS Vita. And I think if I played it on a PC, Xbox 360, everything, it would be combined. But the fact that they combined but did not, my progress was not shared amongst the versions. It was like, by the time I moved back towards the PlayStation 3 version, I was already at the most number one on the Most Wanted list. So it's like I did not feel the sense of progress. Maybe that was why that I did not feel the sense of progress at all, because I was already I had already such a high amount of speed points that it no longer felt like I was doing anything anymore. I was not unlocking anything. I probably was unlocking something in multiplayer, but I did not. Again, I was at such a high number that I did not notice, which is a shame. And the other thing to go with that is that because it was nice that speed points were shared amongst the different versions, but why couldn't the PlayStation 3 version and the Vita version have crossplay or cross-save? Sorry, cross-save, meaning that playing it on one console would transfer the progress to another. It made the game longer, sure. You know, sometimes you complain that games are not as long, but seeing as how things were the same on both sides, it was a shame that I couldn't have my progress be the same. And I think that's about it. But otherwise, it's a great game. You know, I wouldn't have. Well, great is like with a asterisk. It's a great game with asterisk, meaning that, you know, if you like this kind of game, if you don't mind that you can do whatever you want without, you know, certain things, like there's no progress, there's no things like, okay, fine, there is some progress, but I mean, like, compared to other games, compared to other racing games. I would say, yeah, get it, play it, you know, have fun. I got it for both versions for a total of $10, so I felt it's $10 well spent. I played it for the whole month. I played it on my Vita. Every time when I went out on the bus or on the train, and I'll be playing on the Vita. So it's like, yeah, I had a lot of fun with the game. Shame with a certain. Well, I wouldn't say that it's a shame that they had to do a certain few things, but they did not. The racing and the map itself, everything was fine. It was not as cool or as nice as Burnout Paradise. Cars, all these things, you know, it is by preference, by choice, so I can't say anything about them, but it's like, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game. If you can afford it, if you can get it, you know, play it. I just have to warn, you know, people, if you're like me, who like Burnout Paradise more than this, it's like, oh, you know what, it might, some design decisions might push you the wrong way. That's all I can say. Otherwise, it's a great game. Otherwise, I had fun playing it for the whole month. And yeah, if you can get it, get it. If you know, if you want it, get it for cheap. Yeah, but play it. That's all I can say. So thanks for listening to my final thoughts on Need for Speed Most Wanted. I'm still deciding on what game to do next. So maybe if you do watch this video, you know, if anyone watches this video, you know, please comment and just say, you know what, I want to hear about what are your thoughts about this game or the next game or the game that you're playing right now. Right now I'm thinking about playing Fez, yeah, and I think I'm still torn between Remember Me and Asura's Wrath, because I'm looking for something short, because my exams are coming up, so I'm looking for something short. So something like Asura's Wrath, Fez, Remember Me, or things like that. That's on my list to play, and hopefully, you know, I get a chance to stream it. And if you do watch, you know, follow me on Twitch. I'll put the link on the description. Follow me on Twitter as well. You know, if I ever stream, and you know, I don't have a set time where I stream, so you know, follow me on Twitch or on Twitter, so that at least you know when I stream, which will make me so much more better than. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.